Some time ago, atop a mountain that overlooked fields of green and freely running horses, sat a hamlet of just several dozen folk. They carried on their lives in peace, working the days away, singing into the night around campfires. The people of the little mountain hamlet were as closely knit as their home was small. A man that was known only as Hunter typically sat by the fire, telling stories and even blowing his psaltery. Living up to his namesake, Hunter did most of the hunting. He spent his days teaching younger men how to hunt, writing music, practicing his skills with his bow and broadsword. Those who were exceptionally curious about Hunter asked him questions about his past, but did so in vain. For he didn't always live in the little hamlet. He arrived one day in a disheveled state, armor stained with blood, and his footsteps slow and weary. Only the oldest of the residents even remember that day. As Hunter always did, he took the young on a hunting trip, all the while laughing and singing songs. He always made sure that nobody fell behind in their learning, and he taught them well, and did so with great patience. Upon the return from the hunting trip, there was an uneasiness among the people. The setting sun had laid a heaviness in the air with a familiar smell. It was blood. Gathered around a pool of red were concerned and panicked folk of the hamlet. There was a young girl named Ella. She had numerous lacerations of varying degrees of severity over her body. Hunter gave a dreaded sigh and simply said, "He has returned." The next morning was silent. The peace and security that the people had enjoyed was violently torn from them as a grim mood befell the homes of the hamlet. When evening came, the eldest of the people turned to Hunter for aid, he being the most efficient fighter among them. The old man sat in a small cabin home with Hunter, pensive and fraught with worry. "Hunter, we have given you a home, a family, land, and friendship. I remember when you first came to this place, bloody, weak, and near death. We did everything we could for you, and miraculously you regained your strength." "Yes, I remember, old friend. You have given me more than you could ever know, and each day I grow more grateful for it." "Yes, but I remember something too. I remember how you looked that day, and I know that you haven't aged today. You're still the young man that you were all those years ago, and haven't shown any sign of weakness or age. You've protected us, watched over us, taught our young. Are you an angel?" "I care grateful for you all, and thus all of you are close to my heart. I don't know what I am, but I feel that I need this place and its people just as much as I am needed." The old man was visibly stressed. Hunter placed his hand gently on his shoulder. "These people are no strangers to hard work, and that's what we will do. If we are to die, then we will go out fighting, won't we?" The old man resigned to Hunter's notion, though he did not want to fight. Whoever attacked Ella was so brutally clearly could not be reasoned with. Hunter assured the old man that his resolve and his vows were absolute, and that they would end their unknown threat. "We're going to be all right. Right, Hunter?" Before Hunter even moved his lips, the still, sullen, and silent night air was broken and snapped like a frail bone as a shrill scream flooded the sky. Hunter told the man to stay inside as he took up his sword and rushed outside. His ears were invaded by the frightening death rattle of the hamlet's farmer. In the midst of the night, the poor man's eyes could still be seen, darting rapidly in a primal terror. Hunter's eyes focused on the dark figure standing behind the dying man, a creature of shadow with bright, white, featureless eyes. In the moment that he and the creature locked eyes, it vanished and reappeared in a sporadic movement around the homes of the people. A cacophonous swirl of horrified wailing permeated from inside the homes as the creature darted quickly from door to door, twisting in and out of reality like a needle thread passing through fabric. At last the creature stood before Hunter, its eyes cold but still burning with hate. Hunter lunged with the intent to kill, but this monster's movements proved too unpredictable. It darted rapidly around Hunter looking for an opening to strike him. A slight pause in its movements and he knew. Hunter blindly slashed his sword behind him, successfully and mortally wounding the shadowy horror. It showed a mysterious sense of shock in its expressionless form, as if it was in pain and examining its wound. It looked at Hunter with cold hatred and vanished once more, but didn't come back. Hunter attempted to let out a deep sigh, but was met with an incredible and sharp pain. Similar to how the shadow reacted, he noticed he was severely wounded. He feverishly checked the homes of the people, but they were all bled out from their wounds. Lifeblood pooled on the floor like a dark abyss. Annoyance and anger welled up inside of him. That son of a bitch! He drained them out. I can't use the sullied blood. But I can. The old man sat in his home, scared to move so much as an inch in any direction. The door swung open to reveal a wounded Hunter. You're back. What happened? Is everything okay? The old man perked up but quietly asked. Hunter shuffled forward. I got him. Everyone is safe. We won. But I'm hurt. I need your help again, old friend. The old man sprang up to his friend, taking up a lantern to examine the wound. What? Hunter, your face. Have you aged? Hunter then firmly grabbed the head of the old man, his fingers sharp like blades. Hunter's voice fell on the old man's ears with a motionless and cold evil. I don't usually drain blood directly, so this will hurt you more than necessary. Honestly, it's about time you did something useful. The old man's eyes shook violently as Hunter's fingers sunk into his flesh, bleeding him empty of life. The last thing the old man saw was the tightening of his attacker's skin as the wrinkles he noticed just seconds before began to fade into youth. Demon hunters are such a pain. What a shame. I had a good thing going here. The demon then went back to his hamlet home. Hidden in a shifting segment of wall was a piece of parchment. He examined it closely before tucking it into his pocket. It was a simple scrawled map of villages and towns that stay isolated from major areas of population. The demon then collected his useful possessions and walked into the night.